Alright, what is going on, guys? It's Liam here, and today's video I have a commentary for y'all, and we're going to be talking about the new raid drops. Now, I haven't seen anybody else make a video on this at the time of me recording this audio. We are the second guild in the entire game to beat the new raid, as you can see right here from my badge. Ferric beat us to it by a day, but he had a little bit different of a strat, and our RNG was really bad. Like, we would have technically beat it 3 times, but we got bugged twice. So yeah, kind of unlucky. I'll be talking about that in a separate video. So yeah, I've beaten the raid, and we're gonna be looking at all 12 of the loot drops from all of my teammates. Also, we're gonna be looking at the themes, rings, amulets, decks, everything, and I'm gonna let you guys know if you need any of this gear. Importantly, if you don't, because I think a lot of the community is confused in terms of, oh, I feel like I have to upgrade my gear, but it's not true. Basically, I'll give you a basic rundown right now. Basically, the raid gear is better for the schools that got shafted by the gear audit about 5 months ago or so, something like that. So basically, Myth, Fire, and Storm got the short end of the stick of that gear audit. So you're definitely gonna want the gear if you're one of those 3 schools. Also, if you're Life, you also get a pretty good healing theme and a really good healing ring as well. I'd recommend those schools most importantly to get the gear here. So let's start off with the deck. Now, the first thing I'm gonna start off with is the Void Stormy cards. Now, you look at the deck, it's like, okay, whatever. Storm Fuel. Now, this is really rare. You don't see a lot of people using this in PvE, or, more importantly, a card like this in PvP is extremely game-changing. Now, I got this from the Phase 2 fight, so the Gobbler and the Unfun guy. Definitely would recommend getting this if you are a Storm Wizard. It is a game-changer. You guys will be seeing me use that in a future video. So that's basically all the Void decks. They all give a fuel for each school, I believe. Myth gets a 25 fuel, just like Storm. Fire gets a 35 fuel, actually. So they have like a free potentant, I can't say that, fuel, compared to the other schools, as they should, because, school identity. And then these other decks here are basically 6-round auras, like we see on the Merciless boots and the Merciless hats. So I have the deck for the Fire, Ice, Life, Myth, and Storm so far. I believe I have Ice. Wait, Ice is right there. I'm stupid. My bad. But these ones give tier sockets, which are really bad. At least until King's Isle makes pips and accuracy a lot more accessible at max level. So yeah, for decks, I would definitely recommend, getting a Storm Fuel deck. Fire Trap Stack as well can benefit greatly by running this 35 fuel. You basically can get 2 potent fuels, a 40 and a 35, and then cover with 30s like TC, main deck, pet, right? For Trap Stack Fire, I think this is really game-changing in my opinion. Even the Myth deck is pretty good, right? You can use a Mythic fuel from the deck, and this stacks actually with the Maple Moose. So you can actually get a lot of buffs going and create a lot of pressure on a Myth. So I think, Fire, Myth, and Storm benefit mostly from these changes. Now, a couple other schools could do, cool stuff with it, like Ice Fuel. I saw my friend run that. It's pretty good as well. I'm definitely going to try and get it if I can. But you're definitely going to want these 3 decks I have right here in the video for sure. Nullity decks, again, not that good, at least until King's Isle buffs, accuracy and pips at 150. Next, we're gonna look into the rings. Now, the rings and the themes, I'll be honest, guys, they're pretty disappointing. If you compare a lot of these to Merciless, they're just worse in every way. I tried talking to Rapbeard about it, but he didn't want to listen to me, so unfortunate. So yeah, if we look at the Nullity Storm Ring, for example, you just lose health, you lose pips, and that's it. So I'm losing stuff, actually, for working harder to get something. Doesn't really make any sense at all. Especially if you compare some other stuff, like in the themes. Storm gets more health than Ice on a theme, too, which is just, it's horrible. Like, that design is horrible, so I'd really like to see them do something with these. Again, here's the fire stuff as well. I think this is about the same as the Merciless Ring, if not slightly worse. Death right here. Again, if you're one of these schools, you can just hover over this and see if it's better, if you're interested or not. But the most important one here is the life one. Now, life gets 19 pips, really good health, good crit, a little bit of damage, but importantly, you get a lot of outgoing. Now, for PvP players, again, you're definitely going to want this if you're a player that likes to heal. Personally, me, I'm not too big of a fan. I don't enjoy healing, but you're definitely going to want to cop this if you're a life that enjoys healing. You sacrifice like 2 damage or something, maybe 4 damage to gain like 20 healing while not really giving up any stats at all, so you'll definitely want this. Then yeah, the Myth Ring is just generic and trash as usual. Next up, we have the Amulets. Balance has a hit and bubble, but it's the pip bubble, which is the bad one, unfortunately. Also, you get no health here, which I found pretty interesting. Like, if I equipped this and compared Balance Melody to Storm, it's just really bad, which is odd. Speaking of the Storm, you actually get a max tier hidden bubble, and that's pretty cool. I mean, that's neat, cool concept. But one thing I'll say about this gear is it's really bad compared to Mastery Amulets, right? You get the same block just about, you know, you lose health, you get pip conserve, you lose a lot of resist, you lose a whole mastery, which is like a really big deal. So I'd really like to see Kingsall buff the mono amulets, like kind of like Uber. Uber had good amulets. You could also tie school identity into this as well. Like give Storm like 5 resist, but give it like 3 pierce, or give life, you know, outgoing on their mono amulet as well. There's some really cool stuff they could do with that. Here's the myth, life. Again, if you want to see this stuff, you can just pause the video. They all give max tier hidden bubbles, as you can see. And I got a couple of the voids. These are max tier lore spells, so max tier Catalan and max tier Krampus as well, I believe, which is pretty cool. But again, same issue. The stats are a lot worse than Mastery, and I would highly recommend that Kingsall tries to incorporate school identity in here. Again, like if Ice and Death get, you know, more block rating, Storm and Fire get like more pierce, Life gets healing, you could really, you know, make these amulets compete with the Mastery amulets, because Masteries are just way better in every way right now. Next up, we're going to look at the Athames. Now, these are really bad, I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to go over them kind of quick. This is what I wanted to compare, though. Why does a Storm get 200 more health than an Ice? What's going on here, right? Then if you compare the Ice one, you lose like 300 HP on Mercy, or on the raid compared to Mercy, so it's pretty bad. And yeah, everything's kind of bad. Like nullity gear for the Athames is disappointing. We have a Void Death Athame right here though, which is pretty cool. You get 98 block with some block rating to the school you counter, which is pretty neat. This is the Ice one. Again, you get the block rating to the school you already counter. And this is the Life Ring. Now again, you get 31 healing from running the Ring and the Athame total right here, when you literally don't give up any stats. I actually think you might get better stats with this. I could be wrong, but this is just literally better, a pure upgrade for life in every way. And Storm, again, just you lose health, you gain a bit of block, you lose damage, and you get a useless healing stat, which doesn't really matter. So, you know, if the rings and the Athames are gonna be bad for most schools, that's kind of whatever. But I'd recommend Kingsall auditing the amulets and restoring some school identity in them. Again, with Pierce, block rating, you can maybe vary the resist as well. Put some healing in there on the amulets as well to encourage mono play, because I know a lot of players want to, you know, play mono, which is basically single school, not double school. Now, last thing, we're gonna check my personal raid drops. I got the balance wand. As you can see right here, it is pretty good looking, I must say that. So again, hats off to the art team at KI. It is a two-handed sword right here, and these are the stats. I'll compare them to Mercy so y'all can have a better viewpoint on this. So there's a bit of block, which doesn't matter. You get the same crit, you gain pierce, you lose a bit of conserve, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. You lose 5 damage, and you gain an entire Shad rating talent, which is that is incredible value. As it stands right now, Shad rating is kind of bugged. It doesn't work well if you run Shads. You can get outshotted, which doesn't make sense, right? So it's not a perfect stat, but you actually gain, you know, a bit more consistency with your Shads by running this, and you actually get a useful item card, unlike the ones from Lemuria, right? You get a max tier samurai, which is absolutely insane. Now, last thing we're going to look at here is just quickly my Discord server, the Dauntless Goats right here. We're going to look at a couple of things. We got the Death Wand as well, very similar to the Balance one. You get a max tier Deer Knight, which is really good for minion killers. Toad got the Myth Boots, which is really good for Myth Wizards. Very good. Highly suggest getting those. Death got a couple of boots here. Not bad Death boots, but I wouldn't recommend upgrading because Death is already good in the meta. This is the Storm hat I really wanted. It's so good. Like, just look at it, man. It's so goddamn good. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. Jay got it on his Storm. So, you know, props to him. Hats off. And yeah, that's really about all there is, guys. There's a couple more things, but I think you guys kind of get the rundown of it. We're going to be doing the raid again. I want to get some more drops. Again, I'd say balance... Myth, Fire, and Storm. You guys probably want to do this raid because the gear is better, because the gear audit was horrible before. So, would highly recommend doing it if you are those schools. And I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Be sure to leave a like and sub if you haven't, and if you made it this far. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for being here, and as always, take care, guys.